back in DayZ, and always seems to be raining nowadays. God, this guy still bothers the hell out of me. Anyways, we were at Camp Crystal Lake, obviously, as mentioned last time, and yeah, I wasn't really sure where I was, but I found it on the map, and it's kind of like an unnamed spot. Sort of past where I was initially headed as far as, just in terms of my goals. So we're going to head quite a ways south towards a military base eventually, based on my plans. We could potentially go by Zelganosk again, but I'm not going to because I do have enough food resources. Eventually we're going to head down to Pavlovo. It's just weird that I ended up over here, to be honest. I guess that whole little experiment thing for fun that I said I was going to do, and I did it, kind of threw me off track, but I thought it was pretty fun to do. It was something a little bit different. So I was fairly happy with it. I get a lot of questions about, like, if I'm playing in servers with people. Yeah, guys, usually the rule is for when I do these is 55 plus. Believe it or not, a lot of the fun of the game is the actual interactions that you have with other people. So that's where things get a little bit wild and unpredictable, and you get some strange events going on. There's just not going to be a lot of people. I gotta be surprised if I found anybody on the side of the map. The majority of players are on the coast or in the heavily sort of fortified military bases. Like, we've seen them at that one key military base that I can't seem to recall the name of. And then at the airfield, of course, there's lots of people there. And I guess the hotspot is this Tizzy place that's like way up north. And that was kind of the goal eventually, was to wrap all the way around the coast again, maybe see some interactions, and then head really north up to that base. But it's going to take a while to get there, obviously, with the format we use. Maybe a stream at some point will come into play to showcase that. I don't know. Did we check that out? A little bunker? I don't know if we actually went in or if you can go in, because I know we went along those buildings. Whatever. Don't care at this point. But yeah, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. We're like the far, far side of the map. There's not going to be a lot of people or really a lot going on, and the loot has been plentiful, obviously, as you've been seeing. And that's due to it being an empty sort of place. And again, yeah, I try to find, people to run into. I don't run into people, obviously, because that's dangerous, and you're constantly have to get in gear, and then people are complaining, why don't you have gear? But, if they're there, I do interact with them. You can go and see the earlier episodes of this, and there are just quite a bit of interactions. I think I died like 3 times in the one, and then there was another one where it was like a montage, like half of it was gameplay and the other half was like a montage of trying different characters and running into people a lot. Yeah. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with the setup we got going here. I love the press jacket, and I think we're going to do quite well in terms of getting to where we need to go. The only question is, will I survive? It's not exactly a safe world out here. And it should be a different location. So today I wanted to talk a bit about the stress tests that they do. So there's 2 versions of the Standalone right now, with the third one going to be the PlayStation 4 next year in 2019 when it launches, or when this, leaves the early access program at 1.0. So for now, they use PC as the primary build, and then eventually they port stuff over to Xbox, which is kind of a good idea. It makes sense. A lot of testing nowadays, they seem to, for other games, they seem to do both at the same time, because it's really easy to test it out at both locations and keep your builds at the same level. Less problems and a more kind of easier, because ideally when you're doing development, you want it to work on as few different individual versions of your game at a time. Because if you have one version, you can just launch it between all of them. You'll have more bugs and problems to deal with, but it's a lot easier to scale and test and use by doing that. Alright, that out of the way. So some of the stuff they've been stress testing in these you know, stress tests, obviously. It's basically just like a test build server. I don't even know if they're really stressing anything, because the stress test is supposed to be, the, you know, for seeing how the server can handle players and stuff like that. They're trying to fix crashes and basically connection problems and stuff that we've been having. They talked about fixing that on the Xbox version, and I talked about that in a earlier video about the updates and stuff like that. No updates right now on the actual game, but this is just what they were going over on the stress testing. And it seems like they're working on some more animals and certain generators and stuff, you know, like power and you know, things you might deal with when they have those kind of features. Animals too, like the wild boar. Can't imagine how that's gonna be. That could be fun. And you know, while these features are not here yet, their goal is to kind of, again, test it there and then port it over to the console. So it's something that we should eventually see implemented in this version of it at some point in the future. It just seems kind of slow, because they should put a test server out for this one, actually. That'd be cool. I know PUBG had a specific test build on Xbox to try things. So did the Master Chief Collection. On top of that, they've been working on vehicles as far as handling and audio and fixes for car seats and kind of getting the vehicles sort of working well. Again, this is like just sort of the latest one even. Leading is something they're doing. Again, leaning, where you kind of like the contextual lean that I've mentioned in the past, where you sort of aim and you can curve to the right, or, well, not curve, but have your character bend right or bend left, and, you know, like contextual leaning, so that you're not just running around the walls throwing your body into the open to get shot, because you're not going to do that in real life. That'd be just stupid to do that. Other than that, they're also looking at heat, comfort, and disease effects, tents and barrels, which is something everybody wants, and it tweaks to the infected. And weapon collision too. Kind of exciting, I think so. You know, some new things in that. See a radio tower over there. I don't think that's quite where I'm wanting to go. It'd be cool to hit the edge of the map, though. I haven't done that before. I think it was during a stream. The last stream I did, I sort of touched the edge of the world. It was a thrilling situation. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the map. Figured that kind of pick up. Okay, water. Yeah, we're on course, I think. Mostly. And the end of the world is quite something. Quite something indeed. Oh, I also wanted to add a quick look at this mall I went to nearby. It's called like New Horizons. So this is like regular footage. You can just skip it. It'll be like a minute or so. But it's like this mall that they sort of sold all of these stalls for before it was even built or whatever, I guess. It's something like that. And there's like no one in the mall, and it's been open for May, June, July, August, September, October, about 6 to 7 months of time. And there's like 3 or 4 stores in there. I think they're starting to open more now, but it's like, you know, it's pretty funny. You just go in there and it's just empty. There's like a full mall with nothing. All these tons of empty little stalls. They have a food court with nothing in it, just chairs and empty stalls where food places could go. There's a whole kind of open event stage where there's nothing going on. They have these fancy lights. It's so chilling. It's like going to one of those, or watching one of those videos where, you know, it's an abandoned place, or going to an abandoned place. I mean, there's people there, and they're kind of like, they're walking around doing whatever, and I think there's like a 1 or 2 shop owners. And it's just the creepiest thing. Like, I went and talked to some of the loner people. I might actually do some web work for them out of that, which was funny, but see how that goes. And they're just talking about it, and some of the words I was using to describe it are like chilling, ominous, creepy. And that's what it feels like. It's this pristine place. It's sort of a white design. It's just this empty, scary looking place. I was looking at if the rents were cheap enough to do like some work stuff out of there for my web business and stuff, and maybe even do some like green screening work there, because you can get the walls all custom colored. So that'd actually be pretty good to have, because it's so quiet and peaceful. Also thought like a horror movie would be cool to shoot there. Anyways, we're gonna throw that in there at this point so that you can get a good look at it. What a spooky, empty, creepy mall with hardly anybody in it. Just empty. Creepy, creepy mall. Nobody inside. Very little people. Stretches on forever. Anyways, we're gonna catch back to that. I thought it was very interesting and something a little fun to share and showcase. So now we're just continuing along. It's another nature walking episode. I really like the rain sounds in this. They're sort of peaceful, especially with like the headset on when you're listening to them. I could go in editing to look at everything. I think they're quite well done audio in that regard. And I like how I believe it was pretty good in this one. It's been a while since I've been hearing gunfires, but I think the situational setup for like audio and the sense of environment's really good. I was playing PUBG recently, trying out like a new Turtle Beach headset I've been reviewing, which is pretty awesome. It's like their Pro 2 or something like that. I don't have the box. Yeah, Elite Pro 2. Pretty cool. But you play PUBG and there's like no sense of surrounding. You know, as far as like a 3D audio, like the bullets sound like they're sort of everywhere and just scrambly. It's terrible. I remember this one being pretty good for it though. I think so. I like to remember it being decent as far as understanding where the sense of a bullet came from. It just like drives me crazy. It's like, how can you not get your audio right? Because you're playing that game as silent. I should be able to know exactly or have a sense of where a bullet came from. And something I wanted to talk about for a bit was the trails on the game. I don't know if you noticed that kind of thing that was beside the tree. There's like a blue stamp on it. And there's sort of these dirt paths that I've walked around in the past. And there's not really a lot of resources online in regards to talking about them, but these are large scale trails that kind of cover the world. And I'm going to look at that further in another video when I kind of, do a little bit more research on them. Because I've seen some maps, but the maps I don't believe are up to date, and it's kind of like there's not really a lot of information on the trails because I want to cover them well. I do know that like they cross the map, and you could take certain trails for cool nature walks, or perhaps as a guideline. You get lost, you come across a trail, you could be like, oh, this trail will take me here, and that would be really cool to do. But again, I gotta like look into it. This is lovely. The garden. If they had like gardening tech and stuff and like base building, I would totally camp up in this place. It's secluded. Wow, this is a lovely little, and it's got like a full like estate house and everything. I like this. It seemed to be cool if this had like more of a building or camping type thing to it. That'd be really neat. You could take like an area like this and sort of use it as your base of operations. Because I mean, this is really awesome. It's got like a little apple orchard, greenhouse for growing the farming stuff, 2 main houses. It's walled up. It seems fairly like fortified. It's really in the middle of nowhere. I hope I'm still on the path. I think I am. I believe. In DayZ and stuff. Let's see if I can locate sort of where I am. I think I'm kind of close to where I want to go. I think I'm along the way. Or at least close to it. Just based on sort of looking at this layout here. I haven't been following a path directly. I just kind of had like a setup. This looks like more of a heavy farmland. Oh, and a giant water tower over in the distance. I think that means the city I want to go to, or I'm like way the hell off course. Whatever the case, let's go check it out. Yeah, this is like more of a farmland area. Interesting for sure. And damn, has anybody noticed, like, seriously, an uptick in the quantity of rain that you witness when you're playing this? I swear there never used to be. Well, we didn't really have any rain because of the server resets, but you know, now it's just like constant rain. It's hard to find a sunny day. Could also be the time of day I'm playing too, right? That could dictate what sort of thing that you're coming across, or you know what I mean. Big tower there. Yeah, that kind of looks sort of like where I want to go. If not, it'll be a good indication of where I need to go to get to where I want to go. Does that make sense, right? Again, the irony of being thirsty when it is raining out. I'll take a sip of water when it gets to the red bar. I'm in no panic or rush. Should be able to fill my bucket up in the air. That'd actually be pretty cool. I wonder if you can do that. That's something something I consider trying, is like putting like the bucket up in the air. I don't think you get a lot of water, would you? Well, you could. I mean, if it rains enough. That would be like clean water too. That looks promising. Now keep in mind, we should be running into people the further we get towards the coastline, because we're really just like a major city or two away from the actual coast, so definitely could be more people. I'm so used to like not having others around that this could be a potentially dangerous situation for me. I just won't be prepared or used to it. Remember, kill everyone, because nobody is friendly. I really did put an effort towards being friendly to everyone when like the folks asked for it, and it just gets you like slaughtered basically. Hey, climb, Sega. That's what I was thinking of when I said hey, climb. Oh, this looks like a quaint place. Ah, these buildings never have anything. Useless. Definitely means we're getting close, though. I think this is the little structure area just outside of Pavlovo, which is like, you know, my general goal as far as being a place to reach. So if I follow this path, I should end up there, and then there'll be a military base nearby. But first, we've got to not pause the game, but instead pull out a water so that we can drink. Not die of thirst, right? It's been sort of a fun adventure with our funky looking character. You know, this guy's got a lot of heart, I'll give it to him. I've been really happy with his success. There we go. I want to drink a spite. Just to spite people. It's like raw, like it's a bad thing or something. Where's it gonna be raw? It's like a pop can. Spite lemon lime. The best spite yet. It's the spite that keeps on spiting. Oh, it's in my press badge. Or press badge. Used to saying press badge because, you know, go to press events all the time and you get a badge from them. Kind of pisses me off when you don't get a badge, to be honest. Let's hide in this bush. They'll never see me.